I'll never forget that.
Bernie shrugged, looking every inch like the classic dick from late-night detective shows. Tan slacks, a white button-down dress shirt, wrinkled gray sport coat. An Armani model he was not. I can get somebody to talk to you if you want.
It's just like before, what the butcher did to those people.
No shortage on psychos, sad to say.
Oh, God.
Karen crossed herself.
Don't let it happen again.
There was a pair of pants folded up real neat under the body. Still had the wallet in it. Cash, credit cards. Bernie's eyes roved over the three of us. There's no easy way to tell you. It's Oyster. I knew from one look at his license. I raised my mug, but lowered it back to the bar without taking a sip. Oyster was another regular at the Tam, a guy who was always willing to grin and bullshit and make people believe, even after just one beer, that they had a friend. He'd roll those bulging eyes of his when I got all cranked up and bitched about the Indians. He was called Oyster on account of those eyes, gelatinous like plump shellfish, glistening on a bed of shaved ice. Tim slapped the bar hard, loud as a shot.
Why the fuck would somebody do that? Oyster never hurt anybody.
He was visibly shaking.
Cut off his fucking head.
Take it easy, Tim, Bernie said. We'll get this son of a bitch.
Right, that's what they said about the butcher, or that guy before him killed all those people.
Tim raised a hand and fluttered his fingers.
The fuck?
I filled it in for him. The torso murderer. I was too young to have been around for those brutal killings in the 40s, at least a dozen victims disemboweled. But I remembered all too well when the butcher had struck, one generation later, and paralyzed the city. It's not the same. We've got better labs now. Forensics.
Bernie's right.
I leaned back and nodded.
Don't blow this out of proportion, okay? I was 6 when the butcher left that body on the east side, naked, strung up on a playground fence.
Karen took a deep breath and leaned toward me.
Jesus Christ, I just found Oyster in the trash.
She kept her face fixed on mine, and I had no response. The tension was broken when Bernie said, We got to ask some questions, Karen. Let me take care of, outside, and I'll come back later, okay? She shuddered and crossed her arms, drew them tight. Bernie looked at me. Jen, can I have a word? It wasn't really a question. I followed him into the side room with a pool table and a whiff of stale beer. The Tam was a holdover from the old days, when saloons with lax ID policies lined Detroit Avenue and we'd carouse all night, giddy on misspent youth and shots of cheap tequila. Although it dived now, the bar had become a fond refuge from encroaching micropubs, coffee houses, and gluten-free bullshit places. Well, at least until I'd seen Oyster's corpse mixed in with the trash. You okay? Bernie narrowed his eyes. I mean, that article. Now this?
Somehow I thought that reporter would be more sympathetic. The Price of Failure. Nice title. And to think that I'd viewed my old man as a hero when they'd put him in charge of finding the butcher. Thank God Bernie had been around when everything had happened. He'd stuck up for me when the other kids had ridden my ass.
All those reporters. Pricks. Fuck 'em. Come on. Go home and spend a nice Sunday afternoon with Kathy and your kid. Give 'em a hug for me. Let's get coffee tomorrow. I'll call. We walked out of the alcove and Bernie turned, disappearing through the back door. I returned to my stool and examined the face that stared at me from the mirrored bar back. Wrinkles around blue eyes, dark hair flecked with gray, soft flesh encircling my neck. I reached for the beer. The silence was pounding. Tim must have felt that something needed to be said.
Oyster was the nicest damn guy in the world. They'd better find this son of a bitch and cut off his fucking balls.
Yeah, Oyster deserves at least that. But I'd been a lawyer long enough to know that there probably wouldn't be any righteous ending like Tim was demanding, even assuming that lopping off somebody's nuts as payback for cutting off a guy's head would be fair. Despite all the blather we'd told Karen, odds were that Oyster would be just one more unsolved murder. I didn't want to be there when the press barged in. I needed to go home to Kathy. She'd be nervous as hell about the possibility that a serial killer might be on the prowl again, and I needed some time to think. It wasn't just a nagging guilt that my blabbing to a magazine had somehow sparked Oyster's demise. A dark fragment of my past still hounded me. Oyster had known nothing about what had happened, but I could never forget.